Hello and welcome to Any Key to Continue, our vodcast for the latest news views from around the gaming world. I am your host Ben, also known as Tettron, and my co-host is Bob, also known as John Doe. Say hello, Bob.
Hey, howdy, hey all. You
So-
really do think things through far too much, don't you?
I like to keep the intro like quite flat, and I know where I'm going then, and then the whole episode just goes awry, doesn't it? So we shall
Usually,
see.
usually,
Yeah.
but it's getting you past this initial
Yes.
launch of the show, and
it's the start, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
always the start that stumbles people up, and then when you're on a flow, you just keep on going and you just go with it, and it's good. It's good. But
at least you
yeah,
haven't got any rubber duckies going.
no rubber duckies yet. Don't know. The night is long, and we have lots to do this coming night. A couple of recordings and so on and so forth. But however, we've been I've been away, or AKTC has been away for the past couple of weeks. Been on a bit of a download, touchy-feely on what's going on with the whole system, and I'm being called now. There you go. That's gone.
How rude.
I know.
Production value to just dipped right down. My God, that's shocking.
Yeah.
I put mine on silent now as well.
Yeah. Haven't had an episode for a couple of weeks. So this is actually episode 9. So can I get the fingers right? Yes, it's episode 9. And as you can tell, the screen up above and down below and stuff, we've got a little bit of a change now. The view that I'm sort of going with now, I'm also producing a new intro with more of a feel to the AKTC scene. So on this one, you might see the old intro or the current intro, depending on how I feel when I edit it. But that will be changing as well. So we're going through a slight little bit of a rebrand, really, for AKTC. And also, I'm controlling it now as well. So instead of whereas Bob used to do all the slides and everything like that, he is hands-free for this one. And I'm taking control of...
You're caking control.
Caking control.
Not really cake.
Yes. So yeah, a bit of a change, hopefully for the good, and we'll try and keep the episode a little bit shorter than usual as well. I think we've had more uptake on our videos for shorter videos, which is good to see. Good to see. So what we'll do is we'll fly through some news.
Why are you doing a magic up?
I don't know. Magic
I
up.
just screwed.
I need to work out a flopping.
Yeah, the flop on the screen.
That's
then
actually a good transition, really, because my first bit of news is Pokemon related.
okay.
There you go. Perfect. Magikarp. That was unconsciously linking to the first spot of news. So first couple of bits is Pokemon still top of the headlines at the moment. So supposedly the first legendary Pokemon has been spotted. I don't know whether you've seen this, Bob.
I haven't, no.
Articuno. So you legendary...
What's it called?
Articuno.
I'm going to let you carry on talking.
Yeah. So you've got your 3 legendary bird Pokemon that come from the first ones. You've got Articuno, which is the frost watery one. Zapdos, which was the electrical one, and I can't remember what the fire one was to save my life, and I'm not even going to attempt to do it. However, in the wild, we have seen an Articuno. Yeah, there you go. Bob's also shown it on his camera as well. And it's been spotted the first time in a gym in, I think it was Ohio. Excuse me. And then reports, of who's actually spotted it, and the lady that owns it has also commented on Reddit as well, saying that she was gifted it by Niantic as a way of an apology for a complaint or a bug that she had. Now, it's not been confirmed by Niantic, and it's all not hearsay because there are photos, and if you can see, it might be really good Photoshop skills if there are photos. But if we go back to the actual gym, it's questionable whether it's real or not. There is the potential there for it to be real, which is really interesting. And the Firebird has now been released, but again, that's being questioned. Not by the same user, but again, that's by a apparently
community.
being gifted again by
Right.
Niantic. So, but Niantic haven't said yay or nay whether or what's going on. So there's that in there at the minute. But what Niantic have done is that they've now come out to the Pokemon Go players, and with the last update that came out, they've actually shut down third-party access to their API, or a lot of the third-party things that we used to use on Pokemon Go. So PokeVision, I've shown you before, where you could see Pokemon around you, and it would more direct you to where you'd need to go for Pokemon. So all of that third-party access has been shut down by Niantic, with the guise of is that they're working on rolling that out to more countries, and it's putting too much strain on their servers, pretty much, so they can't stand for it at the moment. Although what they've actually done is the reason why people were using it, because the tracking functionality within the game was broken. Now, instead of fixing that and offering up a solution, what they've actually done is they've removed the broken stuff and also removed any other solution, such as the PokeVision, that was actually helping the trainers go out there and catch their Pokemons. So there's massive uproar at the minute, with the fact that people demanding refunds for money that they've spent in the game and all kinds of things. And then they've come out and Niantic have just said, yeah, we removed it because it was broken and we're working to resolve it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's the first time Niantic have come out. I think they need to be very careful on losing their customer base now. They seem very focused on getting more countries in than actually fixing the issues that they have.
Are you sure? I would have thought they would need to have.
Yeah.
For any product, it needs to be.
It was on their update. It was we've taken it out because it's broken. However, we're now working on Brazil coming on and being able to play. That was actually in their update.
Right. Okay.
So it's really, from the area that we work in within our business, it's easy to see that what they should be doing this, if they're going to be rolling this out into more places, they should be at least splitting their workforce quite evenly.
Yeah. They need to have different teams on different things.
That's right. Yeah. I know they've got a lot of work for server loads. I can't imagine what it's like at the minute for millions and millions of people putting stresses on their servers and so on and so forth. From the first couple of weeks of Pokemon Go being live, then they should have foreseen this.
Yeah, they should have had projections on this.
Yeah.
And therefore rolled out. And obviously, there are countries that are saying, we want this access to this now.
Yeah.
But there's a thirst for people to be able to play it, which is brilliant. But there has to come to a certain point for I think for any product or any company of, do we, because they're just going to keep exacerbating the issue with adding more and more people to the servers. And their resources just going to go elsewhere, and then people are going to get. It's got to this point now where, and it's interesting because the stuff I've been doing at work this week are about adoption curves, and they're now actually at. I would say they're at that peak in the game now where everyone's on board, and this is the spot where people will think, right, okay, it's a bit samey, or they'll jump ship and go find something else to do, or they need to have that next hook to keep people carrying on with it, or it's just going to end up like a magic up and flop around like a dead fish.
Yeah, definitely. And we see all the seasoned gamers know exactly what they need to do. Your computer gamers, video gamers, they know exactly what to do in order to keep the customer base active and interested in this game, instead of aiming it towards getting more people on board. They need to keep it going with the customer base that they've got. Once they get that stable, once they get the customer base that they've got happy, then they should be expanding, the product essentially. So they are sort of a fledgling company, and I suppose they are learning this on the way. But no doubt they've got lots of analyst consultants in there advising them this, and it's interesting to see how
You'd
they
hope
go.
so. With Nintendo, behind them as the big heavy hitters that they are, you would have thought that they would have thrown an extra resource their way so that we can help you with. If they're letting them go alone, I'd be quite shocked. Actually.
Well, that's the thing, is that Nintendo have only got, I think it was a 3% or 13%, it was one of the two, share in Pokemon Go. and that is only IP related. It's debatable whether it is actually production, whether they have any input on the production of it. Niantic have held it from the start, which was weird. Why everybody bought into Nintendo when hold on a minute, the first splash screen that you get to is Niantic project, and that was the
Does
first
it even
thing that
show the Pokemon Company logo?
can't
I don't think it
recall
does.
without booting it up.
Yeah.
But the thing that I did, I went straight on their Facebook page and I said, "You've cracked it. You've got a good in here, and the recognition is going to the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, when it should be going to Niantic Project." And you probably find my public post on their forum saying, "Well done. Crack on and let's see more of it." So yeah, and all the stock prices reflected that as well, when people then realised, when Nintendo came out and said, hold on a minute, they were quite quiet for a little while, but when they came out with their financial results and say, hold on a minute, Pokemon Go's not actually impacting us as much as you think it might be, and then their stock prices dropped again, the quickest that it can possibly ever drop. So yeah, very interesting. They just need to keep it going, and it'll be interesting to see what it does. So yeah, how about you? What news have you up to?
Well, I have one very, very nice little piece of news, probably particularly for me, with the trading card games in Hearthstone, and they've now announced their next adventure pack, which is One Night in Karazhan, which it looks interesting. Some of the card previews they've thrown out already are looking very, very nice. I've got to admit, I'm not 100% keen on the theme of it. It does. I know they're trying to have a bit of fun with Hearthstone. It's definitely set in the world of Warcraft. It's got a very, very fun element to it, which is brilliant. And I think with the Whisper of the not the Whisper, because that was the expansion, but the League of Explorers, I think that was kind of the level it should have stayed at. This next one, it just looks like they're having another. It's almost going down the P-take kind of route now. And I don't like seeing that, to be honest. It just looks a bit camp. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. Camp's fine. Yeah. Like the for example, the Warlock card, Karazhan. Have you seen that one?
Yep.
That's off of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
That's the teacup, the candle, and the mop out of Beauty and the Beast. I suppose.
Yeah. So it has got that kind of it's that sort of theme, like the Beauty and the Beast. If that was just its theme, then brilliant. Like the Babbling Book, that's my favourite card so far. And there's some really good cards that me and Scuba have been going through, just sort of see what we can sort of pick out on the initial stuff. Rogue's still not getting a lot of love. But obviously we've only seen a handful of the cards. There's going to be 45 new cards in this deck. It's released on August the 11th. And you will be able to get all of these cards if you play through the entire adventure itself from start to finish, with each round and then each boss that you'll get things as well. So there is always good. These are good. I always find that the adventure decks are the ones that kind of turn the meta on its head. The expansions almost do quite a bit of a reset, and they do so more so now with the standard and the wild formats that we've got in there. As soon as a new expansion comes out, we'll see the next one drop out as well. So, but I'd like the adventure ones. We usually get 2 a year, and they usually have quite a nice little mix of cards that's it gives it a good 3 to 4 month vitality again, which is always nice to see. So yeah, it's looking nice. I like the actual individual cards, not the whole thing, but yeah, it's looking quite nice.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one because the League of Explorers was sort of like when you went down there with Harrison Jones. When you played WoW, I'm referring to now, is when you went down there, Harrison Jones was like a mischievous, what's he called? Harrison Ford. What was his character called? Indiana Jones. Yeah. A mischievous version of Indiana Jones. He would cheekily get himself into all of this trouble, which then transposed onto League of Explorers, which was really good. But the Karazhan stuff was not, when you were playing that in WoW, it was not funny at all. It was bloody solid. The chess section in Karazhan, I'm pretty sure that was Karazhan, where you do the whole chessboard piece. Yeah, it is. They've got a couple of the knight pieces there. Yeah. That was nails when you were in raiding in Karazhan. So yeah, it's interesting, like you said, that they're going with this funnier theme, but I suppose it might just be for the younger audience that's
definitely.
actually playing
I'm gonna
Hearthstone.
don't get me wrong. This is just me being an old fuddy duddy about it, because obviously you say Worldcraft's got quite a serious theme to it, and Hearthstone's got that lighter fun theme to it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, it's the charm of the game, and I think this pretty much nails the hammers the nail in the coffin. In terms of its theme, this is what to expect from now on. I think it can only either get sillier, or this is the level it'll kind of sit at now in terms of the fun that I'll have with it. And if that's the case, then I'm fine with that. It's a great game anyway. No matter what you say, and no matter how many digital games I pick up or physical games, the first thing that springs to mind is the comparison for that game to Hearthstone.
Yeah.
And even when I go back to it and play it with a couple of for a week or so, just to get my card back and things like that, and level up a few things and muck around with it in a week here and there, I still enjoy it. You just can't go wrong with Hearthstone.
Yeah, and it's always a good free one to jump into as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite solid. Not like Pokemon, but they facilitate different things. So yeah, no, it's good to see a new expansion, and I do like the solo play aspect of these wing type games that they do. You're not bashing your head up against a brick wall when you're trying ranked and stuff like that. It's right, you can bash your head against the computer instead.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's a nice little twist.
It's a good tutorial device. The themes.
Yeah.
You learn so much from these and different things to build. If you go in just expecting to use the same deck constantly, it's not going to happen.
And it pushes that, like we discussed a couple of episodes ago, or on Tabletop Dungeon, it pushes that research element of things. You need to learn how decks are built, how how they fit in against this certain style of NPC and so on and so forth, which is good. It's that good learning element to it. So yeah, no, it looks good, exciting. They haven't got a price point for it yet, have they?
No, they haven't. But I think these ones, the League of Explorers, I think was about £15, which works about $20, something like that. I think.
And I think they sold wing by wing as well if you wanted to buy it
separately.
separately.
Yes, you can buy the whole adventure outright, or bit by bit. It works a bit more expensive doing it that way. Or gold as well. You can buy it with gold.
Yeah, fantastic. So, a game I've been waiting for and have pre-purchased is No Man's Sky. I think I mentioned it on a previous episode before. It's out next Friday. But I say lucky chap, he is lucky in a way, has managed to purchase a copy of the game early on Fleabay. For a couple of grand, something like 13 grand he paid for this one copy of it. Yeah. So he was I think it was all over Reddit. I think he said something along the lines, I've got the money, I want to play the game, I'm going to buy the game anyway, so if I've got the opportunity to buy it early, why not? It's like, oh, okay.
When's it out?
Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday.
Next Friday, right, okay.
Friday 12th. And he's tackled it in a really nice way. He's not a douche. He's not spoiling it for everybody, but he's giving his opinion, or he was giving his opinion on Reddit. And then people were really taking that up really quickly and really interested, because he was doing it in such a neutral way, if that explains it. And what he then decided to do is make little snippet videos, non-spoiler related, but just give people tasters of what was coming. And the producers of No Man's Sky said, look, we ask you not to look at all this stuff and just buy the game and play the game and experience it yourself. And the guy, because he wasn't a downer on the game itself, he was only doing it to enhance the hype, effectively.
Yeah.
He then turned around and said, look, I completely agree with you. I'm not going to do any more videos. I've stopped now. And you guys can pretty much figure it all out for yourself once you get the copy. And he's just cracked on and he's played it. So there was a lot of leaked things. There's whispers saying that the game only takes 30 hours to complete on a massive game scale like that. That is a survival-based game, which doesn't really have a completion point. I don't really understand it, but I haven't gone into it to spoil it for myself. I want that experience of going in there and looking at it and going, wow, this is amazing. And hearing the sounds, because all the sounds are procedurally generated as well, so it'll be a different experience for everybody. And yeah, so a little bit of a mixed bag with this pre-pop. Lucky for the chap to get it early. I don't know whether it's lucky that he spent 13 grand on it. I'm sure I can find a lot of things that are better to spend 13 grand on, and I'm sure the wife would pip up with a lot of own suggestions to spend 13 grand on as well. But yeah, if he's got it, then why not, I suppose.
If you've got it, why not? Why not?
Yeah, certainly. And then with the early stuff as well, they've had more confirmation, or not confirmation, more rumours on the NX console. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, so there is sort of so Eurogamer.net did this big expose on the Nintendo NX and had it corroborated from a lot of different sources. They could just still be rumours, but with a lot of information that's been found out and stuff like that. They have now sort of like identified what kind of console it's going to be. So if this is new to you, then you know this is cool. So what they've figured out is that the NX console is primarily a portable console.
Right.
Okay. So it will have, you know, your Wii U gamepad?
Yep.
Be very similar to there. Okay, so you would hold it like that, but a big version of a handheld console, and you would be able to play it there. What would also happen is that your controllers would detach, and you would just be left with a VDU. You can then supposedly put that down and then play, you know, here or whichever, or play with your mate or whichever. But then what you can also do is take that VDU and dock it, and in that dock would then be connected to other peripherals, such as a telly. So then what you would then do is you would convert that into sort of like a game station, and then you would have your controllers still again, and you'd be playing on the telly. The potential is there because it's a bloody powerful processor that's in there. It's an NVIDIA mobile processor. I can't remember. I think, is it a Snapdragon or something along those lines?
Yeah, that's their mobile processors.
Yeah. So they're quoting it to be as powerful, if not more so, than is it NVIDIA Shields?
Okay,
Yeah, which are pretty powerful machines.
They're quite nice bits of kit as well. Yeah, I played one of them.
Yeah. So, and this is what they're going with now. This is what they've had corroborated from different sources. Is this mobile handheld thing that is both? That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, quite interesting.
One to look into that was. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see. It will see how comfortable the controllers are, to see how user-friendly the smaller VDU will be. Like, say, if I was to bring it round your house, you know, if we sat there with it on your coffee table and then we'd both have controllers or whatever, would we be able to do something like that, or would we need a dock for multiplayer, for example?
Yeah.
So, yeah, sort of snippets of excitement, really.
That's quite a clever idea. I like the idea, that idea of, you know, at work or lunchtime, just, you know, put this little screen down, obviously a bit smaller, but I mean, the size of the Wii U controller was the screen was pretty good, pretty crisp. Nice little display to look at when you were playing with it. So yeah, to detach that and have a quick bimble around the game with a mate and whatnot, that would be quite nice. And it'd be fantastic for travelling on the train and that with the kids and whatnot.
Yeah, very much so. And it's pretty much been confirmed that they're going back to cartridges. But we previously discussed it, didn't we? That it makes sense. You get faster, larger media storage on solid drives now, don't you? So did I tell you that I saw on one of these companies called Wish? They get stuff shipped over from China and so on and so forth. They've got a 2 terabyte USB key.
Ooh.
When did we hit terabytes on USB keys? I've still got like a 32 meg one somewhere, and now we're at
got a little 4 megabyte there.
Well, yeah, there you go.
It is tiny, mind you, but
but that potential, you had nowhere near that on a physical CD, and if we can do that on USB keys now, by converting those into a cartridge, you know,
there you go.
It makes sense, doesn't it? I'm sure it's cheaper media than a CD is for your burning capabilities and all kinds of things. Maybe mass production would be even quicker
and it's
as
hard to
well.
copy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, because maybe you can better encryption and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yes. So very interesting. Good
yeah.
to. It's nice to see new stuff coming. VR's not the end of it. AR's not the end of it. We've got a potential new console coming out.
No, I still think we're having a bit of a retro resurgence again with all that, all the classic stuff. And
Yeah.
I'd often, I've recently fallen back in love with my 3DS and all sorts. So
Yeah. Sun and Moon. Oh, out soon.
Ooh.
Oh, a bit rhymey there. Yeah, any other news?
I do. More card news from me. Everyone's going to go, no, not more card news, game off. But no, another game that I've only ever touched on this one, so and I did actually like it, but didn't invest a lot of time in it, so I'm all going to go back to it now. But Spellweaver, which is another tactical trading card game, which is available on Steam, have just released their first expansion. Now, one of the reasons I like Spellweaver is because of it's like the charge mechanic. You've got there's a different element to these cards. It's only one type of thing,
right?
But it's quite a fast-paced game as well, so it's quite a nice one to play. But their new expansion, which was released on the 29th of July, which is help me out, Valiant Dawn, sorry. With a new 115 cards. This has gone straight to my head.
We've got lots to do tonight. You can't be getting drunk.
No, crikey. It's gone straight to my head. Yeah, but no. So it's it was just I wanted to get out there. It's just a nice looking game. It's got a nice table to play on when you play it digitally, not obviously physically, but the board that you play on in Spellweaver is quite a nice looking game as well. It's say 150 new cards is a pretty, for me that's a pretty good number. In terms of new expansions. It seems to be the kind of, even physically, that kind of seems to be sort of the mid-range for the sort of cards you get 100 and something, maybe 200. Magic's ridiculous. You get too many cards, I think, for an expansion when they come out. But I think like the Siege, Steam Siege stuff that's coming out for the Pokemon stuff, that's in the early hundreds. So yeah, I think it's a good number level of cards that we're going to get for that new expansion as well. So if you are a TCG player, I would check that one out.
Yeah, it looks, the mechanics look quite interesting.
Yeah, there's a new mechanic 7 new mechanics been introduced to that as well. Slaves, channeling, level unlock powers, modal card. I'm not sure what that one is actually. I didn't read that one. Multi-aspect cards, distributing damage, copying cards. So yeah, some new and interesting mechanics in there, especially the distributing damage, to be able to sort of pick and choose who you want to be able to damage on the board, instead of it giving it and wasting it potentially on your higher end units. Then it's a nice one to. I'm looking forward to playing that one.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no, I've not dipped into Spellweave, but it does look quite visually pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did Scuba play it for a little while?
He did. That was the one he jumped ship from Hearthstone for a while and got quite into it.
I think Gollum played it as well, didn't he, for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, very sexy. So the final bit of news for me, really, is VR related. So it's interesting. We've gone through. If you're watching this watching AKTC outside the UK, we've recently gone through a referendum on whether we should be staying in Europe or not. And the overall vote was that we wanted the United Kingdom to come out of Europe, known as the Brexit. That then impacted the pound exchange rate, so on and so forth, stock markets, everything like that, all sort of like ripple affected and everything like that. One of those interesting ripple effects that has impacted the game world quite recently is that it's impacted on the HTC Vive. Now, because of the conversion rate now with the pound, it's actually increased the price of the HTC Vive for us for around about 50 to 60 pound. So instead of the 700 mark that we were looking at for the Vive, which is one of the pricier VRs, we're now looking at 750, 760 pound to actually get that now. So that's quite a big impact, really, in the gaming world for a piece of tech to be increased by 60 quid. Just for the potential of moving out of Europe. So it's a sad thing to see that we're getting impacted like that. But I suppose it's inevitable, really.
Yeah, there's going to be fits. It obviously depends on where they're being exported or imported from and things like that. So in terms of it's going to impact technology and hardware probably quite considerably. And this probably won't be the first thing we're going to see with a small increase in price. And it probably is kind of the first. You said the rippling effect is kind of the first thing we're going to see with that. But fingers crossed we can, get them.
Get out.
I'm not even going to pretend to know what I'm talking about when it comes to this sort of thing.
When it comes to politics, no.
Yeah, no, it's not my bag. Sorry.
Yeah. But what we'd also noticed as well, wasn't it, when we'd pop down to our local gaming shop, is that something as small as booster packs for TCGs had gone up by 20 pence because of all of the changes in the pound strength and everything like that. It's quite an interesting ripple effect that we're starting to see straight away as a consumer.
Yeah, and that was one of the first things we would have seen anyway.
Yeah. With those imports.
Yeah.
So a bit of a downer, really, for anybody that wanted to buy a Vive. I'd love to be able to afford a Vive later on, perhaps when it comes down in price. With the room tech just looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of those forefront leading ones, definitely.
Yeah, we're not going to have to wait long with that sort of thing, though. I reckon in the next couple of years we're going to start seeing them being produced a bit more.
Yeah, very much.
Reasonably priced and things like that.
Yeah, certainly. And on the other VR news, PlayStation VR have let out the sort of ideal play space now for when you're using the PlayStation VR. So they reckon that users need to have at least a 3 meter by 1.9 meter play area. Personally, I don't think that's that bad. I think, if I recall, that's less than what the Kinect requested that you would have. And then they're also advising that you should sit around about 2 foot away from the telly. Now, again, 2 foot is not bad.
No, that's 2 feet's nothing from the actual telly.
And if you think about the size of the televisions that we have nowadays, we're all sitting on a majority of people, if you're lucky, I suppose, are sitting on 40 plus inch screens. You're not going to be sitting 20 foot to your telly, are you? What's the distance between your telly? Yours is, I wouldn't say too close, but it's not a massive distance. What do you reckon yours is?
We've probably got about 5 to 6 feet between.
Yeah. Could you lie down between your sofa and your telly?
No.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so it's about 5. At least about 5 foot, I would say.
Yeah. Which is a good, decent size. I could quite easily, and I'm a tall chap, I could quite easily lie between the telly and the sofa. And I've not got, you see my front room, I've not got a massively sized front room. So I don't think it's unreasonable to ask that kind of play area for the VR, which is quite good.
I just can't wait to see more of the old the Nintendo remote control videos popping up on YouTube, and that where people are smack getting swiped and hit because they can't see this time.
Yeah,
there's the accidents are waiting to happen when that comes on.
Yeah, I could see it more, instead of people hitting things, I could see it more of people actually falling over. Typical. Oh, you're going forward, and then you literally fall over like that. That's what I can see happening.
Yeah, your momentum taking you.
Yeah. So it'll be good. We'll have loads of bloopers, hopefully. So that's about it for news. Have you got any more news, Mr. Doe?
No, that's it for me.
No,
that's it for me. Thank you.
Quick, short.
It's gone incredibly red.
You've gone incredibly red.
It's either really hot in here.
It's the alcohol. It's the beer going to your head. You're going to be snoozing later. Oh, that'll be fun. I'll be able to throw
going
things
to a midnight show
at
in a Suicide Squad, and I don't think I'm going to last. I had a bad night's sleep last night as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll close up the news and we'll go on to sort of a combined section of what we've been doing this week and what's to come.
Yay.
Hello. So,
I'm still going to knock back.
You're going to knock one back. Cool. I'm on. See, I've got the power of the monster to get me through this midnight showing. So, yeah, we are going to see Suicide Squad tonight.
Yay.
We've been looking forward to, or I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Mr. Person to the right there was like, yeah, I don't want to see Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad for me has always been a terrible idea in comic books. And when you see different iterations on, I think we first saw a TV version in Smallville, that was terrible. Then there was animation, and there's been lots of different things. And I've never, the whole idea of the Suicide Squad has never sat with me. I don't think villain-centric team comic books have ever really worked for me. I'm core hero with me, my comic book stuff. But I think it was trailer 2 that came out for Suicide Squad. Then it was just like, yes. Now I'm looking at that. And the fact that Batman's in it is pretty much the only reason why I'm going. One of the only reasons I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to Harlequin origin story that they touch on that. Joker looks sadistic psycho style. We don't know what to expect from Batman. We know that he's going to be in it. We've seen scenes that he is in it, but we don't know to what capacity and what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, there's a chase sequence in it. I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, we don't truly know who the baddies are.
No.
It looks very mixed, and we don't know from scenes that we've seen. We don't know what order things are going in. Whether it's going to go straight on origin and then go mid is the creation of the squad or whatever. We don't know how that's going to happen, which is really exciting because we've had the right amount of tidbits into it. I feel to get us juicy and wanting more. So, yeah.
You moist, Ben.
Moist. We are moist for the squad. The Suicide Group are in town. Oh, yes. That just sounds terrible.
It does. It sounds wrong. Don't cut this out. Don't cut it out.
Of course not. So, yeah, that's what we're up to this week. But that's what we've got coming tonight. I shall be doing some videoing. I have the GoPro on a selfie stick ready to go. To do some, I don't know whether the light's going to hold out or how it's going to play, but I'm going to have a go and we'll pull something together for the reactions, probably, hopefully there before and afters. So yeah, exciting stuff. What have you been up to?
So there's been a couple of things this week. For those of you obviously who potentially watch, I hope. Tabletop Dungeoneer. It's like last week. I got very, very excited about Final Fantasy, Fighting Fantasy. Sorry, Fantasy Flight Games. Even that's the one. Them Fantasy Flight Games. Oh, I swear.
Fail.
Blah blah blah. Fantasy Flight Games last week announced that they were releasing the Mansions of Madness Second Edition. Which just got me very excited. It's come along with an app. So there's been quite a few articles. I've been doing a lot of reading up on that. I did pre-order it straight away. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it turns up tomorrow on release day. So I've been going through quite a few things of that. But again, on Tabletop Dungeoneer a while ago, I did an unboxing for the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, the 2 starter play deck.
Yeah.
And I didn't give it a fair chance, to be honest with you. And I will still stick to my guns in terms of the artwork on Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if you can see these here. I've got the artwork on the things, but for me, the spacing of the imagery and the text and boxes, it's too cramped. These cards would look even more gorgeous if it was full art cards with these, better positioned. These all, they've been pretty much exactly the same since the late 90s when they released. And there are types of cards called pendulum cards, and they've got even more information on them. And actually, I can just barely see them even wearing glasses. And they're a little bit. So in fact, that's the only criticism I could say about this game is they just please now give it a bit of an fresh thing. But it's kind of inspired, well not inspired, but I've basically been watching the animated series. I got really into that. Yeah. And I've been learning a bucket load of the rule sets, and the mechanics in this game are just absolutely fantastic to the point where I bought on the Xbox One Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist.
On Xbox One.
On the Xbox One, yeah. It's on the Xbox and PlayStation 4 as well, I think.
Okay.
It's about £15. There's a free trial for it as well, but it's just a gorgeous looking game. Really, it's called Legacy of the Duelist because basically you can pick, I think it's all 5 animated series, and you can play through all the big storylines. And Quidditch, the very first campaign you play is the very first storyline from the animated series. It's literally that episode, Lifted and Shifted, and you can play that. So it's just, I've really got into that. It's a good looking game. So if you are like me, a trading card game player, and you're looking for something digital, I really wish this was on tablet now, because it's just a really good game. I do know we've got another one coming up, Duel Link, I think it's called, which is going to be a PC release one. And if it's any sort of similar vein to the Duelist one, then they're onto a winner, because it looks very quick.
Is it single play or
yes?
online
So it's
play?
campaign play.
All right, okay.
That's basically the thing behind it. It's not a collectible card game.
Yeah.
It's pretty much you just you're purchasing pre-made, or you can build your own decks as well. When you start playing through the campaigns, you get more cards. You can build your own decks and do that, but it's heavily reliant on actual story decks.
Okay.
And one of the releases that Konami do with the game is that just recently the Legacy Gold deck's just been released, which is the 3 main decks from Yu-Gi-Oh! Pegasus, the bad guy in it, and the actual Pharaoh that possesses Yugi.
Right.
And they're kind of like, in the animated series, they've got their own decks that they play with, and that you can actually physically play with them in the game. It's almost like you become Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're playing through the storyline. It's just a fun little bit of game to play.
Yeah.
But there's no expansions. You can't go and buy booster boxes for it. That's where it kind of the line of this game sort of draws itself. But I do believe the new one coming out, the Duel Links, I'm sure it's called Duel Links. That's when the new expansion will come out. It's almost like they're creating their own Pokemon Go version for the PC. So, and it's about time, really.
Yeah.
But it's probably the most complicated TCG I've ever played, pure and simply because of the number of mechanics that are in there and the different types of cards and units.
Really.
But if you can master this game, you're onto it. It just makes it a whole lot of fun. There's a type of card called a pendulum card.
Yeah.
If you can stick a pendulum card on each side of your board, you can then all of a sudden summon a range of monsters from, so pendulum on your left hand side's 1, your pendulum on the other side's 8. You can then summon out of your hand a whole range of monsters from that number, and you just flood the board and you pretty much just won the game. And it's just to be able to do things like that. You've got trap cards that completely just you're playing against All Smug and puts down all these awesome magic cards. You then flip a trap card and you just destroy the entire board, and it's just like, right, I've got to start again now. And it's never guaranteed win with this game. I've watched a ton of YouTube championship stuff now. Very fun game to get into. I mean, I'm very enjoying. So that's one of the things I've been doing this week is getting into that. So, how about you? What else you been doing?
I've had quite eerily very fast busy week this week. I was what was I doing? So I'll generally have things going on in the background, pretty much like a radio, like with YouTubes or with Twitches and stuff like that. And something caught my eye recently, which was the 7 Days to Die. It's not a new game. It's been out for a little while. There's been different iterations of it. It's out on PlayStation 4, if I recall. I don't know if it's out on Xbox as well. However, I saw this and I thought, it sparks my interest being in this survival mode at the minute. And zombies are always a win for me. So I decided to start a new series of 7 Days to Die. So 7 Days to Survive for me. And it will be a minimum of the first 7 days of the game. So it is literally spread out as the days in the game where you have to survive.
But they're not real time, are they?
No, they're not.
No.
The days take about 50 minutes. I think day 1 to night is about a 50-minute long. So I ended the first episode. I've not gone back into it. I'm proper keeping it fresh. Ended the first episode. I think it was like 25 minutes past midnight or something like that in game. And then at the 7th day, apparently, the zombies get more attracted to you, and it gets harder and harder as the days progress. And then every 7 days you get a zombie horde that comes and attacks you, and then every other 7 days that you survive, the zombie horde gets more and harder and harder and harder.
Wow.
So and there's an offline element you can play, so you play in normal story mode, which is what I'm playing in, which is what the videos are in, but you can also go online and play with friends, and it's like a normal survival game, but with this increasingly difficult zombie element to it. And these zombies look like they can break down walls, get into buildings, proper come after you. And there's different types of zombies. There's dog zombies and all kinds of different things.
Oh,
so
nice. I like.
It's like I love my zombie stuff. I love watching zombie films. I used to quite regularly have zombie dreams all the time on surviving. I tell you what, a couple of years ago I used to be laughed at because I had a zombie plan, and I knew exactly from where I am now.
Everyone's got to have a zombie backup plan.
Exactly, but it never used to be like that until things like Walking Dead and the newer zombie films made zombies more mainstream and acceptable. And then, the laughs stop with regards to what's your zombie plan, and everybody's got a zombie plan.
Yep. Everyone's got one now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. I'm really itching to do day 2. Unfortunately, we've had really bad weather last night, so it affected my head, and I got quite bad headache, so I had to
bend the barometer.
Yeah. So I couldn't actually play anything on my computer last night, or do anything. I was straight to bed for me. So I'm itching to play that, and we're obviously out tonight and recording these tonight. But I've also done, and that's been really well received on YouTube, which is always good to see. A new series with such a low subscriber group that I have. It's really good to see the amount of views that I've got on there, which is really positive. Keeps me going, which is really good. So please subscribe to any of the videos on both this channel and that channel over there. I've also been doing an unboxing, so I unboxed my last loot crate as well, the gaming loot crate. Sort of quite glad that I'm not subscribing to them anymore because I've not been very impressed with the boxes. However, you can see for yourself if you want to watch my vid.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that box, when you turn them inside out again, I wasn't quite sure what your box was supposed to be. It looked like a sewer lid, and I thought it was to be Turtles related, but I don't know, it didn't fit the theme.
It was. The theme is survive.
Yeah.
If I just wheel across, I've actually got it here. It's with all the girl stuff, like I said on my vid, and it's so there's some. I think there's some Buddhas on the side there. I don't know whether you can see that.
Oh, right, so it's more Tomb Raider centric then. Okay.
Yeah. Survive
right.
2.
So I was trying to figure out what it was when I was watching it. And
yeah.
I did like the little flask you got though.
Yeah, the flask was pretty cool, and the towel was pretty cool.
Which has got nothing to do with survival.
No, it's not. But all in all, it was very deflating, really, a deflating box.
Well, you've got your good one on its way, haven't you? The one you're looking forward to.
A new one? I've got my arcade block. My arcade block I've been doing for over a year now, from when they first started. And arcade block, I've always been very impressed with the stuff that I get out of the arcade block. That's a majority of the stuff that you'll see on my shelves that you can't currently see in camera and stuff like that. But yeah, I've got a new one, the poker crate thing that's coming. So that's had mixed reviews on a couple of stuff that we've both seen, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'm loving, and the girls are loving the Pokemon stuff. So it'll be good to see what we're getting there, definitely. Good. And then Steam Siege is out.
Yay!
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I really hope it does turn up tomorrow.
Yeah, and it'll be first proper unopenings. Unboxing. That's better. Of the new set of Pokemon stuff. So I've done that stuff there, the generation stuff, but this will be my first experience of a proper new set.
Expansion set.
Block.
They're called blocks.
Blocks. Yes. Thank you for educating me.
That's okay.
So I'm really looking forward to that. I've got a ton of gold saved up as well on Pokemon TCGO, ready to go on that as well. So I might do some vids on there. I'm going to do an unboxing vid on the Elite Trainer Kit, and then we are going to do something special, aren't we? Friday, hopefully, if it comes this week, where we're going to do a BVB boost off. I think we decided on, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So we shall be. There's this kind of rule where you open booster packs and you get certain points for different kinds of boosters. So we'll read up on the rules so that we're quite au fait with them. But we're going to have but we'll be in the same room boost off. Bob will be around here in my area.
Yes. So we've got games night as well.
Because we have that, yes. Oh, and we'll be doing if it turns up in time, we could do your new one. What's it called? Mansions.
Imagine second edition.
Yeah, we could do your second
that
edition
one there.
or your first edition. So Bob's going to be leading his first Mansions of Madness on Friday as well.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the lads. Well, it'll be the first time that our new group will be getting together. So we've got me, John Doe. We've got our friend Gav. We've got our friend BJ, and we've got another Ben as well, I think, joining us. So there's about 5 of us, which will be pretty cool. So the missus will be manic Friday day cleaning the house, since we're going to have lots of people round. She's already booked time off from the children. I think the children are going over to mother and father-in-law so that she can gut the house ready for everybody coming round.
You heard it here first. It's guaranteed.
Yeah. No, I'm being told not to laugh, but it's true. So yeah, well, exciting this week, really. Is there anything else you're up to, have been up to?
I don't know what. Again, it's been a very, very busy week with just new stuff, and I've been putting together a calendar for all the new launches coming out for all the various cards. I've got so many trading card games that I want to just look at and get onto Tabletop Dungeoneer and just start playing with. It's just game mechanics at the minute, which just got me so excited. Particularly with the conversion kit coming for Mansions of Madness, so you can actually play the old sets with the new ones as well. So the conversion kit you can get, and the app enables you to generate scenarios based on the expansions you've actually got. I don't have many of the first lot, and there's going to be new ones coming out, but so the Yu-Gi-Oh mechanics on that as well. But one thing I do also do throughout the week is, and one great thing about Google is the whole recommendation thing, except for your YouTube. Just because I watch a video about exercise doesn't mean I want to have hundreds of recommended exercise videos. Take note, Google. But anyway, the Play Store generally for me recommends a couple of games, and every now and then a TCG will pop up. One that I have discovered this week, and it was only released last week on the store from DNA Games, is I've lost the name of it. DeckStorm. I was going to call it Storm Deck. But not. It's called DeckStorm, Duel of the Guardians, and it's, I don't know if you can see that on there, but it's, first off, wow, beautiful looking game. Secondly, very fast. You can get a match played probably within, 3 to 5 minutes, depending on what number of waves you get to play.
Right.
There are 4 elements. You get to play the 3 elements: earth, fire, and water. 3 elements, no air yet, but there could be expansions coming. And it's based on, and the cards just, this character here, I don't know if you can see him, looks like He-Man. Oh, it's beautiful. That really awesome version of He-Man. And it's just basically 3 lanes. Your lanes, depending on who you go first, you get to attack, shield, attack, and you've got to look at the cards that your player's got, and it's almost like a guessing game. You've got to guess whether or not, if you put down your strongest character fighting-wise, they're then going to shield it with one of their high guys and keep one of their people on the board. The rounds you win dictates the number of levels that you get. As you level up some of the characters, some of the stronger characters, your spells activate, which then heals the entire row. And it's almost like rock, paper, scissors as well. So earth beats water, water beats fire, and fire beats earth. So when you put them cards down, so if you know you're going, and it's almost very strategy based. If you're as you're going through the campaign and you realise you come up to a region that are all earth, you would then flood your deck with the water stuff.
Right.
And it gives you an extra buff and things like that.
Yeah.
I've yet to think it's quite easy the first couple of rounds, but I'm now getting to the point now where it's starting to get a little bit harder, and some of the leader cards have special abilities, and they all kind of have synergies with each other as well. So it's not a clever game. It's just a very quick, fun, easy game. Just if you've got 5 minutes to throw away.
5 minutes on the toilet. Yeah.
Yep. Crack that open, have a quick go of it. It just looks, and it's got a very high definition polish to it. And one of the things that initially drew me to it, and then I thought it was going to be like some of the other, make and bake, lift and shift games, but it's not. It surprised me at how nice it actually is. It's not a TCG. It's not a trade. You can't trade. It's more of just it's more of
strategy style card game-ish.
Yeah, based around card imagery and things like that. So it's just a nice little one. So if you did get a chance to have a look at that one, DeckStorm, Duel of the Guardians, which came out last week.
I played the trailer for everyone. So yeah, it looks sexy, that one, for a mobile as well.
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's it for me.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me. So we might as well draw it to a close if we've got no more to talk about. I think we've got a lot to come. We've got Tabletop Dungeoneer to do now, and then we're off to Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Suicide
Your turn
Squad.
now.
Yep. It's, tiredness is setting in. So hope you enjoyed the episode. We will hopefully bring another one next week. We might move it to fortnightly. We'll see, depending on what news is going on and depending on what work schedules are like. But thank you very much for watching. Please, if you have enjoyed it, please like or dislike if you haven't enjoyed it. But the key thing is for me is please subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Just press that little subscribe button that's down there. And leave us a comment. I've been getting a lot more comments now on the channel, little tips and so on and so forth. They're all welcome, negative, positive, whichever you want to do. Just talk to us. It's cool. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. We hope to see you again soon. So it's a good night from me.
And it's an au revoir from me as I hit my hand on the keyboard. Ow!
Oh no, hand loss. So yeah, good night all. Take it easy.
See you later.